if I have this one, x plus 2 is less than 4, bless you. That's a linear inequality. Linear because the highest power of x is what? 1. How do we graph that? How do we solve it? If that was an equal sign instead of less than, how would you solve it if that was equal?
Minus 2.
We'll do the same thing. Yep, subtract 2 from both sides. Isolate x. So you end up with what? X is less than what? 2. Just like equations. So when I graph it, this is the 2, open circle to the left. Stupid cover doesn't want to sit. And the new look, there's the 2, not included. And in interval notation, where's my answer going? From where to where?
Negative infinity to 2.
Negative infinity to 2. Very good. Let's try another one. 3 minus 2x is greater than 15. Just like equation, your goal to isolate the unknown. In this case, isolate x. So to isolate x, I need to subtract 3 from both sides, right? We'll have negative 2x is greater than what? What's 15 divided by negative 3? What is that? 12? Subtract, right?
Yeah. So that will be negative 6 x.
Where? I subtract negative 3.
After you follow through, the next one. It's going to be x.
Oh, yeah, you go on the next step. Oh, I got you. I'm like, so now to solve for x, I'm going to divide by what?
Negative 2.
And you divide this side by negative 2, right? So x is negative 6. Am I right? Wait a minute. Are you sure? Well, look at the sign. Aha. There's the only time we touch that inequality sign is when divide or multiply by a negative number. Has to be a negative number. We switch the sign of the inequality. So what did we divide by here? We divided by what? Negative 2. So we have to switch the sign of the inequality. So that's the only time we touch the sign. Let's try another one. Oh, I gotta graph it, right? I forgot to graph it. I get too excited here. Oh. So let me graph the solution here. X is less than what? Negative 6. This is the negative 6. Less than that. Open circle. Which direction? To the left. Then you look. There's the negative 6. Parentheses. Which direction? To the left. And interval notation from where to where?
Negative 3 and negative 6.
Good. Okay. Let's try another one. I had another one in mind. That's why I got excited there. I'll make one up. I don't know. Let's see. 2 times x plus 3 minus 5 less than or equal to 4x plus 7. I just made one up quickly. I have no idea what the solution is. Just like if there was an equation, what would be the first step? Distribute these, right? 2 times x, 2x plus what? 6 minus 5, 4x plus 28, right? I don't like this. That's all right. It's going to be a fraction, but so what? Now, I can take these two numbers and combine them together before I start moving things around. What's plus 6 minus 5? Is that plus 1? Remember, I want all my x's on one side, all my numbers on the opposite side. So I need to move that 4x to the left. Doesn't really matter which side. I like the x's on the left. I'm one of those strange people. And I want the number to go there. If I do that, I can get all the x's on one side, all the numbers on the opposite side. And you're probably, what, subtracting 1 from both sides? Is that what you're doing? Then subtracting 4x? Well, I don't do them that way. I go change side, change sign. You wouldn't see that in the math book because that's something I came up with. They're not going to put it there because it's not really an equation I derived, but it works all the time. So 2x, when you bring that 4x to this side, becomes what? Negative 4x. Here's the 28. I'm not moving it, so it's still plus here. When I take the plus 1 there, it becomes what? Minus 1. What's 2x minus 4x? Negative 2x. What do we have? 27 here? And to solve for x, we're going to do what? Divide by negative 2. So x is what? Greater than or equal to negative 27 over 2. And again, notice I switch the sign. Because why? I divided by negative 2.
I still keep the thing at the bottom, the or equal to.
What about it?
When you divide.
Anytime you divide by a negative number?
Yeah, I know that you switch the
Sign, yeah?
Yeah, but I still keep everything otherwise.
Yes, nothing else changed, so you switch that sign. And 27 over the negative 2 is what? Is that negative 27 over 2? I just put the minus in the front instead of in front of the 2. I put in the front here. So my solution now, if I was to graph it, so minus, if this is the 0, that's what, 13.5? So somewhere here. I don't know why I made it like, well, it is a closed dot, just by luck here. And we're saying x is what? This is the negative 27 over 2. Is it bigger or less than? Bigger. Then you look, negative 27 over 2, square bracket, In interval notation, where's my answer going? From where to where? Negative 27 over 2. Is that included?
Yeah.
To where? Is that included?
No.
So 3 different looks for answers. So if they give you this, they're not going to give you all 3. They're going to give you 1. I'm just going through all 3 of them so you'll know when you see them which one is the correct answer. A couple more. Three halves, the quantity 1 minus x is greater than 1/4 minus x. That's also linear inequality. Now, if I was doing this problem, guess what my first step will be? I won't even do that. Nope. You can, nothing wrong with it, but not me. Why? Because if you distribute, what are you going to have? Fractions. I don't like fractions. Nothing. Not many people like fractions. If you do like them, maybe you should see Dr. Phil. You know. So what are we going to do? I'm going to multiply the entire equation by the LCD, which is what? Isn't it 4? I'm going to multiply everything by 4. So take the first one, multiply it by 4. 4 times 3 over 2 times 1 minus x greater than 4 times 1/4 minus 4 times x. If I do that, by 2 this is 1, by 2 this is what? 2. What's 2 times 3? 6 times 1 minus x greater than, the 4's will cancel each other, you'll have what? 1 minus what? 4x. Now distribute that. No fractions, nothing. I'm done. So anytime I have an equation that has fractions in it, you will see me multiply by the LCD every time. Because if you multiply by the LCD, when you reach this point, you should have no fractions left. Now you want to distribute that? Go ahead. 6 minus what? 6x. All the x's on one side. All the numbers on the opposite side. Notice that's a minus 6x. That's not going anywhere. So the sign of that's not going to change. But the negative 4x when it comes to this side becomes what? Positive 4x. There's the one that's now moving. When I take the 6 to that side, that becomes what? Minus 6. What's negative 6 plus 4? Greater than what? Negative 5. To solve for x, you're going to divide by negative 2. X is what? Try again. Less than 5 over 2. Again, the reason is less. You're dividing by a negative number. You have to switch the sign. If you graph it, 5.5 or 5 halves is 2.5, and x is less than that. Or there's the 5 halves. It's not included, it's parentheses. And interval notation from where to where? Yep. 2.
5.
Which one is included? Which one is not?
None of them.
None of them are included. Very good. Okay. What are you going to do if you have a compound inequality? What does that mean? Instead of just 2 sides, you have 3 sides. So we have -1 less than 2x plus 3 less than 6. You're not going to see less than, greater than. Either going to be less than and less than or equal to. You know, it's either less than less or greater than greater than. But you're not going to see less than here and greater than there. So if you see less than like this one, or less than or equal to, if either that's less than or less than or equal to, that says that's an AND operation. If you see greater than or equal to, that's an OR operation. Again, difference between AND and OR. If I said to you, hopefully somebody from Dallas listened to this video, for Dallas to beat the Patriots this weekend, they have to score at least 50 points or have Jesus play a wide receiver for them. You only have to satisfy one of the conditions. You don't have to satisfy both. So I said the only way they beat if they score more than 50 points. So if they score 60, they could win the game. Or if they get Jesus to play receiver for them, they could win the game. If I say an AND operation, for you to pass this class with an A, you have to have an average of greater than 93 or polish my car. And, not or, and. And polish my car. That means you got to do what? Both conditions, not just one. So with and, you got to do both of them. So even if you have 100 average, if my car is not polished, you're not getting that A. So that's the difference between them. So with graph, when it's and, we're looking for an overlap where the 2 lines cross. With or, we're looking for either this side or that side. So this example here, this is less than. That means that's an and operation. So I can really break this one down to 2 parts. -1 is less than what? 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3 is less than 6. And let's solve each one. To solve this one, we subtract 3 from both sides, right? 2x is what? Greater than what? -4. And to solve it for x, we're going to divide by what? By 2. X is greater than what? -2. Or -2 is less than x. Yep, I can write them backward. Yep. What do you mean switch the sign? Like make that the greater than? Why? What am I dividing by?
Oh, it's not a negative.
It's not a negative number. We don't switch the sign.
No.
But I can rewrite this. It might look like I'm switching, but I'm not really switching the sign. It looks like I'm switching. I'm not.
Because that's 1.
It's like if I'm saying you are younger than me or I'm older than you. Is that the same statement? That's what this one. -2 is less than x or x is bigger than -2. So it might appear to you I'm switching the sign, but I'm not. I'm rewriting here. Let's look at this. Solve this one. 2x is what? Less than 3. To solve for x, I got to divide by 2. X is what? Less than what? 3/2. And again, I need to satisfy both conditions. This has to be yes, and that has to be yes. So if I graph that, this is the -2. The first one says x is bigger than negative 2. Bigger means which direction? To the right. And the other one says what? This is the 3/2. X is what? Less than 3/2. Less than means which way? And remember what I said, when it's an AND operation, you need to satisfy which one? Both of them. What segment of the graph satisfies both? Isn't that this piece? So my solution actually to that is from negative 2 not included to where? To 3/2. Put the minus 2 inside that. That's my solution. Between these two circles. Or an interval notation. Oh, not interval yet. And then you look there. Parentheses on both sides. Interval notation, this will be negative 2 to where? 3/2. Yep, on both parentheses. A lot of people, when they see a compound statement like this, they don't want to break it down like this. They go, that's double the work. Can I do it in one step? The answer is yes. As long as you don't have x's on here and there. If it's just right here, you're good. But if you have x's on both sides, then you have to break it down. But for this, if I take the same problem, notice I can subtract 3 from this end to isolate the x, right? If I subtract 3 from this end, I got to subtract 3 from here, 3 from here. You have 3 sides now. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do the same thing to the other 2 sides. Gone. 2x. This will be what? Negative 4. This will be plus 3. And to solve for x, you're going to divide by what? 2. Is that the same answer? Much quicker. But if I had x is 6 plus x on this end, I couldn't do it. This way I have to break it down to 2 parts, 2 problems. And isolate the x's and do the whole thing. Negative 2, 3/2, open, open, negative 2, 3/2, and again interval notation, negative 2 to 3/2. Same exact answer. As I said, you couldn't do it in one step. If I had x's on both sides, I'll make that my last one in this section. I'll do another example. If you had 2x less than x minus 4 less than or equal to 3x plus 8. Less than and less than or equal to, that's an AND. I can't isolate x. There's no way I can just make x appear in one term and disappear out of these two. I can't. So I have to break it down to 2 problems with an AND between them. The first one says 2x less than x minus 4. And the second one says x minus 4 less than or equal to what? 3x plus 8. And solve each one separate. To isolate the x, I bring that x to this side. You'll have 2x minus x less than negative 4. What's 2x minus x? Isn't that x? So if I graph that piece already, this is the negative 4. X is less than that. That's to the left. Let's look at this one. I'm going to bring the 3x to this side, take the negative 4 there. I will have x minus 3x less than or equal to what? 8 plus 4. What's x minus 3x? Negative 2x less than what? 12. I got to divide by what? Negative 2. And again, you're dividing by a negative number, so what do? Switch the sign to what? Negative 6. So the negative 6 is here. And it says greater than or equal to, right? So where's my answer? From where to where? Is the negative 6 included? Yes. Is the 4 or negative 4 included? No. So from negative 6 all the way to negative 4, not included. Yes, it's included.